Hey, Mike from BlindsOnline.com. I'd like to show you guys how to install your new 2-inch Express Faux Wood blind. Once you've removed your blinds from the package, just make sure you have all the necessary mounting parts. Your brackets, your valance clips, your screws, and of course your blind. This particular blind is the 2-inch Express Faux Wood in the color Snow White. Okay, it's a 2-inch slat. Faux wood meaning, of course, that it's made to look like wood, but it's actually a composite material. So once you have your blind unpacked, just put it aside and locate your mounting brackets. Okay, the mounting brackets are the white box brackets that look something like this. Each of these brackets are universal, meaning that they can be used either for an inside mount or outside mount. However, there is a left-hand sided bracket and a right-hand sided bracket. That's important to note. Okay, your left-hand bracket will have the opening on the right-hand side, and your right-hand bracket will have the opening on the left-hand side. Okay, so I'd like to show you first how to install this blind on the inside of the window frame. That means inside the casing of the window. Alright, so locate your bracket. Take one of your mounting brackets, grab a screw. If you have a screw gun, that's great. That'll help speed things along. If not, feel free to just do it the old-fashioned way by screwing it by hand. And then take the mounting bracket for the left side and put it up all the way up to the window frame. And in this case, I'm going to put it as far back as I can go. This is a 3.5-inch deep window. And I'm going to take one screw and drill it straight up into the window frame. Okay, I'm going to also take a second screw just to give it a little bit more security, and I'd like to put one in the side also. You can see how the bracket kind of bowed away from the window a little bit. Well, I like to snug it up, so I'm just going to put a second screw in there and keep that bracket nice and tight to the side of the window frame. Alright, so once we have that first bracket installed, we're going to do the exact same thing for the second bracket. And we're going to place that in the frame all the way back. I'm going to drive that one screw up through the top, and then I'm going to put a second screw. I like to go into the side like so. Whoops, we dropped that one, so let's just make sure we get that back in there. Okay, we've got our brackets securely mounted. They are ready for the blind. However, before we put the blind in the brackets, we're going to pick up the blind and we're going to install the valance clips. Okay, the valance clips are these little plastic jobbies that we supply, and these are designed to hold the valance in place. The valance is the little decorative piece of crown molding that we put to cover the top rail or the head rail of the blind. Now, when we put these on, we want to make sure that we put them in a place that isn't going to interfere with any moving parts. So I see there's a nice opening right here. I'm going to place this bracket right about here. Okay, we're going to snap that in, and I see there's another opening right about here. Okay, I don't want to put it here because this barrel turns and it might end up interfering with the clip. So we're in a good spot. We're going to take the blind after your valance clips are installed, and we're going to just bring it up to the mounting space where the brackets are. Make sure your doors are open. You see little doors are in the open position so that the blinds will accept the brackets will accept the blind very easily. It'll just fit right into the brackets, just like so. Okay, so once you've pushed the blind into the brackets, take a look at it. Make sure you have an even amount of space. In this case, we don't right now, so I'm going to just move the blind over a bit to the left until the space looks even to me on each side. Okay, right about there, I'd say. And once it does, we're going to close the doors. We're just going to close the door on each side, but we want to close it tight enough so that we hear a little click. Okay, click meaning that the bracket is seated and it's snapped in place, so it's not going to open when we pull the blinds up and down. We'd hate for the blind to pop out of the bracket. So make sure you hear that little snap to make sure that the bracket's closed tightly. Once you have the brackets closed up and your blind inside the brackets, you can lower the blind. Alrighty, your blind should be fully functional at that point. This one seems to need a little bit of help, but once your blind is ready to go, the last step of the installation process is to mount the valance. Okay, the valance comes along with the blind, and this just snaps right into the valance clip. So we're going to place the top of the valance into the clip, like so. In fact, I like to mount the valance this way with the little convex portion of it facing up. I don't think there's any right or wrong way, it's really up to you. But just put that into the clip, and snap that in place. Okay. Now there are two different types of valance clips that usually come with the blind. If this valance clip doesn't hold it, then the other clip will. These blinds happen to be what we call cut-down blinds. They're ordered in mass, and then we cut them to size as needed. So all the necessary hardware will already be in there. You'll have your hold-down brackets if you need them. You may not. You can discard them if you don't. It'll come with 2 sets of valance clips, and of course use the ones that work best. So that's the inside mount application if we're going to mount it inside the window frame. If we decide to go outside the frame, you're going to take the same brackets. The brackets don't change, so we'll utilize the same brackets. The only difference this time is we're going to mount them either onto the window molding like so, okay, in which case I'd recommend pre-drilling the holes, so put a little pencil mark at the top hole and one of the bottom holes, pre-drill it, and then put the screws in so that you don't crack and split your trim, your molding, and do the same thing on the opposite side. Okay. Once you have your brackets up, it's simple. You place the blind in, you close the doors, make sure you hear that snap, and install the valance. If you decided to go up above the window molding and not mount it directly to the window molding, but mount it up above, we do recommend using a spacer block. The spacer block is a little piece of plastic that goes behind the bracket, and what that does is it pushes the bracket far enough away from the wall so that when you lift and lower your blinds, the blinds don't interfere with the molding at all. Okay, so once you have that little spacer block in place, you're going to bring that bracket up above the window molding like so, just like that, and screw through the holes of the bracket, through the spacer block, through the drywall, and that'll be your mounting application. Now you may need some longer screws for this. You may need to visit the local hardware shop. The screws we give you may not be long enough to go through the drywall and into the header if there is a header up there. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But that's your outside mounted application if you decide to go up above the window molding. Now if you do have any additional questions on how to mount your 2-inch Express Faux Wood blind, feel free to give me a call. I'm Mike from blindsonline.com. Thanks for watching.